Cosmic Genesis Chronicle Chapter 7, Kaelin and Seraphina, the demolition duo, use their mystical inner strength like a drill and their magical energy like explosives, and they manage to gnaw a hole through the arcane barrier. It was like two ants trying to gnaw away at a pyramid, and they actually succeeded. Now, free from the confines of the giant mosquito net, the two finally emerged into a vast expanse. It was still pitch black, pitch dark, but in the distance, a few bizarre buildings loomed, like the remains of an ancient civilization, exuding a mysterious and eerie aura. "Oh my god, this place is darker than my basement," Kaelin muttered, pulling a self-luminous gadget from her pocket to use as a makeshift light. It had been purchased on the Interstellar black market, claiming to illuminate the entire universe, but here, it barely shone like a nightlight. Guided by the faint light, the two cautiously advanced. The ground was bumpy, and from time to time, one could step on some unknown bone, making a creaking sound that was eerie. "Princess, are you sure this isn't a mass grave? Why does it feel so eerie?" Kaelin followed Seraphina closely, fearing she might stumble into a trap. Seraphina's expression was solemn, and she didn't answer Kaelin's question. She seemed to be using some special magic to sense her surroundings, trying to find some clue. "Be careful!" Seraphina suddenly shouted, pulling Kaelin aside. Where the two had stood, a black beam of light instantly passed through, leaving a charred hole in the ground. The beam exuded a terrifying aura, as if it could devour everything. "What the hell? What is this? A laser gun?" Kaelin jumped in fear and quickly hid behind a massive stone pillar. He didn't want to be hit by it, or he would be roasted. "It's not a laser, but a special energy attack, likely from some kind of defense system," Seraphina analyzed. "Defense system? It seems this place is even more dangerous than we imagined." Kaelin swallowed. He finally understood, this ancient ruins was a terrifying maze of death, where one careless move could lead to untold destruction. The two men explored forward more cautiously. Dodging various unknown attacks, they traversed a maze of passages until they finally arrived at a vast circular plaza. In the center of the plaza stood a towering altar, engraved with ancient runes and emitting a mysterious glow. Above the altar, a massive orb of light shimmered within, as if containing the entire universe's stars. What is this?" Kaelin was completely stunned by the sight before him. He had never seen such a magnificent and mysterious sight before. It felt like he was at the center of the universe. At that moment, the sphere of light suddenly erupted with a dazzling burst of light, and an illusory figure slowly emerged from it. The figure was clad in a white robe, with long flowing hair. His face was blurry, yet he exuded an awe-inspiring aura. "Young man, welcome to the other side of the stars," the illusory figure spoke slowly, his voice ethereal, as if emanating from the depths of the distant starry sky. "Who are you?" Kaelin asked warily. He could sense that this illusory figure possessed immense power, far surpassing any being he had ever encountered. "I am the guardian of these ruins, or perhaps, a guide," the illusory figure replied. "I have waited here for countless ages, and finally, your arrival has arrived." "Guide? Guiding us to what?" Kaelin asked, puzzled. "Guide you, to the truth of the universe, and to master your own power," the illusory figure said. "You bear a special mission, destined to change the fate of the entire universe." "Change the fate of the universe? Old man, are you mistaken? We're just two ordinary explorers." Kaelin curled his lips. He didn't believe he had any melodramatic story about saving the universe. "No, you are not ordinary. An ancient power flows in your blood, and your souls hold infinite potential." The illusory figure said, "You are the bridge connecting fantasy and magic, the key to breaking the shackles of the universe." "A bridge connecting fantasy and magic? The key to breaking the shackles of the universe?" Kaelin was a little confused by the illusory figure's words. He felt like he had accidentally stumbled onto the set of some Chuyunibu movie, where the other person was seriously spouting nonsense. "I know you have many questions, but time is limited, and I can't answer them all," the illusory figure said. "All I can offer you are some revelations and guidance, and some knowledge about the origins of the universe." Then the illusory figure extended a finger and pointed it between Kaelin's eyebrows. A beam of white light instantly pierced Kalen's body. Kalen felt as if his brain were being plugged into a supercomputer, countless pieces of information flooding into his consciousness. That information was all-encompassing, encompassing the origin of the universe, the evolution of stars, the operation of laws, the mysteries of energy. He witnessed the birth of the universe, erupting from chaos to form countless galaxies and nebulae. He saw the origin of life, from primitive cells, evolving into a variety of organisms. He witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, from the rise of ancient empires to their ultimate fall. He saw the origin of magic, a mysterious energy from the depths of the universe that could manipulate the elements and alter reality. He saw the true meaning of magic, the potential within the human body, the ability to transcend limits and control oneself. He saw the ultimate secret of the universe, the cycle of life and death, the interweaving of order and chaos, and the eternal, unchanging laws. This information, like a key, unlocked countless locks in Kalen's mind, bringing his understanding of the universe to a whole new level. He felt his mind become sharper, more expansive, and more profound. At the same time, his body underwent a profound transformation. He could feel the profound inner energy within him becoming more refined, more powerful, and more full of vitality. He could feel his perception of magic becoming clearer, more acute, and more creative. He felt as if he had undergone a complete transformation, transforming from an ordinary explorer into a true child of the universe. After a long moment, the white light finally dissipated. Kalen slowly opened his eyes, feeling that the world had changed. He could sense a closer connection with the universe, as if he were a part of it. "How are you? How are you feeling?" Serafina asked with concern. She could sense a noticeable shift in Kalen's aura, becoming even more profound and unfathomable. I feel good," Kalen muttered. "I feel like I understand something." "Understand what?" Serafina pressed. "Understand the truth of the universe, and our mission," Kalen replied. "Mission? What mission?" Serafina became even more confused. "This. I don't fully understand yet, but I know we must stop a greater threat, or the entire universe will be destroyed," Kalen said, his tone becoming unusually serious. "A greater threat? Even more powerful than Lord Valerius?" Serafina asked in surprise. "Much more powerful." Kalen nodded. "He's just a small fry. Our true enemy is Omega." "Omega? Who is that?" Serafina asked. "An evil entity seeks to devour the entire universe," Kalen said. "It is secretly accumulating power. Once it completes its plan, the entire universe will be plunged into eternal darkness." How is this possible?" Serafina couldn't believe such a terrifying entity existed in the universe. "Nothing is impossible," Kalen said. "We must find a way to defeat Omega quickly, or it will be too late." "Okay, I believe you." Serafina nodded. She knew Kalen wasn't one to act without purpose. If he said that, it meant the situation must be very serious. "So, what should we do next?" Serafina asked. Kalen looked at the illusory figure and asked, "Guide, can you tell us how to fight Omega?" The illusory figure nodded and said, "Deep within the multiverse lie ancient ruins that hold the power to defeat Omega. You must find these ruins and gain their power to stand a chance of defeating Omega." "Ruins of the multiverse? Where are they?" Kalen pressed. The illusory figure smiled faintly and said, "The answer lies within you." With that, the illusory figure slowly dissipated, merging back into the ball of light. The light of the ball gradually dimmed, eventually fading completely. The square was once again plunged into darkness, as if nothing had happened. "The answer lies within us? How's that for navigation?" Kalen scratched his head, feeling completely fooled. "Do you expect me to yell open sesame to my heart?" Serafina rolled her eyes at him. "Stop being ridiculous. When he says heart, he's referring to our goal and direction. If we want to fight Omega, we first have to know where it is, right?" "That makes sense." Kalen slapped her forehead. "But, where Omega is, what does that have to do with our hearts?" Suddenly, Serafina's eyes sharpened. She slowly raised her hand, and a complex, Ancient magic circle materialized in her palm. The magic circle emanated a soft glow, illuminating the surrounding darkness. Wait, this is our people's star map. Serafina exclaimed in surprise. I sense an imperial relic. An imperial relic? Could it be? Kalen's eyes lit up. Serafina nodded. In the Empire's history, there existed an ancient star map that recorded the intersection of the multiverse. It was said that this map contained endless secrets and could even lead us to the origin of the universe. The origin of the universe? Wouldn't that mean we could find a way to defeat Omega? Kalen rubbed her hands excitedly. Perhaps, but I've never seen that star map in person, it only exists in legends, Serafina said, frowning. Besides, the location I sensed on the map is very vague, as if it's being interfered with by some force. Whatever. Any clues are better than nothing. Kalen said impatiently. Even if it's interfered with, we can still follow the clues. If that doesn't work, I can just use my mystical inner energy as a detector and search bit by bit. Serafina smiled helplessly. Okay, as you say. However, I need some time to stabilize my perception. The interference is very strong, and I must concentrate. No problem, princess. Just focus on casting the spell, and I'll do the rest. Kalen promised, patting his chest. I guarantee not even a fly will be able to get close. With that, Kalen began patrolling the area. He vigilantly observed his surroundings, while secretly mobilizing his mystical inner energy to maximize his perception. Like a radar, he constantly scanned the surroundings for any movement. Time ticked by, and the surroundings remained utterly silent. Only the occasional low growl of an unknown creature could be heard, leaving a sense of unease. Suddenly, Kalen paused as he sensed a faint energy fluctuation coming from not far away. The energy was so subtle that it would have been completely undetectable had he not heightened his perception to the limit. Something's happening. Kalen's heart trembled, and he immediately approached the source of the energy. He carefully passed through the stone pillars, finally arriving at a corner. There, a broken stone slab lay quietly. Carved with intricate patterns, it emitted a faint glow. What is this? Kalen leaned over, carefully examining the patterns on the slab. He discovered that they bore a resemblance to the magic circle in Serafina's hand, yet were even more ancient and mysterious. Could this be a fragment of an ancient star map? A thought struck Kalen, and he immediately picked up the slab. He could sense a powerful energy within the stone slab, resonating with his profound inner strength. At that moment, the surrounding darkness suddenly intensified. A powerful, oppressive feeling instantly enveloped the entire square. Oh no! Something's coming. Kalen's expression changed. He immediately put the stone slab away and turned to run towards Serafina. He could sense an extremely powerful force approaching, and it wasn't friendly. Serafina, hurry. We have to get out of here. Kalen shouted as he ran. Serafina seemed to sense danger as well. She immediately stopped casting spells, stood up, and looked at Kalen gravely. What's wrong? Serafina asked. A powerful enemy is approaching. We must leave here immediately. Kalen said. Okay. Serafina nodded, then grabbed Kalen's hand and prepared to leave. Just then, a dark figure suddenly appeared before them, blocking their path. The figure, clad in a black robe and a hideous mask, exuded a suffocating, oppressive aura. You, don't even think about leaving here. The figure's voice was hoarse and eerie, like a demon from hell. Who are you? Kalen asked warily. I am, the messenger of Omega, the figure said coldly. I have been commanded by my lord to take your lives. The messenger of Omega. Kalen's face darkened. He knew a fierce battle was about to begin. It seems, we can't escape. Serafina sighed, then tightened her grip on her magic wand. In that case, let's fight. Kalen grinned, his eyes gleaming with excitement. He hadn't faced such a formidable opponent in ages. This battle was sure to be thrilling. Interesting. Wait. Before we fight, I have a question. Kalen suddenly raised a hand, interrupting the man's attack. The black-robed man was stunned for a moment, seemingly unprepared for Kalen's request. What do you want to ask? Kalen grinned, a bright smile on his face. Excuse me, do you guys at Omega also work 996? Are your social security contributions and housing fund payments on time? Are you paying overtime? How much is your year-end bonus? Serafina nearly spat out blood, wondering what's going on in this guy's head. It's such a late night, and he's still concerned about this. The black-robed man's blood pressure soared at Kalen's sudden workplace PUA question, and his face must have turned green beneath his mask. These days, even villains are so concerned about 996 and social security. Truly a universal workplace where everyone is equal. It seems Omega Group's employee satisfaction is worrying. Kalen muttered to herself, but her hands were busy. He knew that reasoning with such exploited villains was less effective than direct physical salvation. Instantly, his mystical inner strength erupted like a volcanic eruption, forming a visible energy shield around him. Serafina wasn't idle either. She held a magic wand and chanted ancient incantations. The magical elements in the air began to surge violently, converging around her into brilliant halos. It seemed this proud princess was getting serious. Since you won't accept my toast, don't blame me for being rude, the black-robed figure roared, waving his hands violently. Instantly, beams of black energy, like venomous snakes, whistled towards Kalen and Serafina. Your Highness, watch me. Kalen shouted, moving his feet and flashing like a ghost. He actually charged directly into the dense energy beams. Looking for death, the black-robed figure sneered disdainfully. His void energy beams could easily penetrate even interstellar battleships. A mere human daring to confront them head-on was simply courting death. However, what followed left him jaw-dropping. Kalen dodged all the energy beams in a flash. His seemingly casual steps held a mystical trajectory, as if he could predict the direction of the energy beams. Holy crap! This agility is even more impressive than when I dodged the Dean back then. Kalen secretly rejoiced. His light footsteps were enhanced by mystical inner energy, bringing his speed and agility to an incredible level. Dodging these energy beams was a piece of cake. While dodging the energy beams, Kalen continued to close in on the black-robed figure. When he was less than 3 meters away, he suddenly leaped up and pounced on him like a tiger descending from a mountain. Looking for death, the black-robed figure roared again, crossing his arms across his chest to form a black energy barrier. Kalen's lips curled slightly, a wicked smile flashing across his face. Do you think this thing can stop me? The next second, Kalen's fist slammed down on the energy barrier. There was no earth-shattering explosion, no blazing energy surge. Just a soft crack, and the indestructible barrier shattered like glass in an instant. What? The black-robed figure was horrified. His energy barrier could withstand even interstellar artillery shells, yet it was shattered by Kalen's punch? This was unbelievable. However, Kalen didn't give him much time to react. As the energy barrier shattered, his fist, like lightning, slammed into the black-robed figure's chest. Puff. The black-robed figure let out a muffled groan, his body flying backward like a kite with its string cut, slamming hard into the distant stone wall. He struggled to stand, only to find that every bone in his body had been shattered by Kalen's punch, rendering him unable to move. Not a single blow. Kalen clapped his hands in disdain. He was using the 18 dragon subduing palms, a technique infused with mystical inner energy. Its power was so immense it could split mountains and shatter rocks. How could a mere black-robed figure possibly withstand it? After defeating the black-robed figure, Kalen turned to look at Serafina. Serafina had already finished chanting her spell, her wand radiating a dazzling light. With a gentle wave of her wand, brilliant streams of magical energy shot out in all directions like meteors. Boom boom boom. The magical energy struck the stone wall, instantly unleashing a violent explosion. The wall shattered, revealing a hidden passage behind. It seems Her Highness has found a way out. Kalen said with a smile. Serafina nodded and said, these passages connect to different dimensions. We must find the right direction quickly to leave here. No problem, just follow the princess, you'll be right. Kalen said with a smile. He knew Serafina possessed powerful magical perception and could discern directions. Following her would definitely lead them to the correct path. However, just as the two were about to leave, the entire space suddenly began to vibrate violently. What's going on? Kalen's face changed, and he immediately looked around with alarm. Oh no! It's a spatial collapse! Serafina exclaimed. We must leave here immediately, or we'll be caught in the spatial turbulence. Spatial turbulence. Sounds dangerous. Kalen said hurriedly. Then what are we waiting for? Run. Without hesitation, the two of them immediately ran in the direction Serafina pointed. However, before they had gotten far, a piercing alarm suddenly echoed throughout the space. Warning. Warning. Intruder detected. Activate defense system. Activate self-destruct sequence. As the alarm blared, the surrounding passageways suddenly lit up with red light. Like chains, these lights blocked all the passages. Holy crap! This is going too far. Kalen couldn't help but curse. This ruin has a self-destruct sequence. Looks like we're truly trapped. Serafina said, her face pale. Just then, the lights blocking the passages suddenly converged, forming a light curtain in front of the two of them. Scanning target. Scanning target. A mechanical voice rang out from the light curtain. Target locked. Intruder. Activate attack sequence. The next second, thick beams of energy suddenly shot out from the light curtain, blasting wildly towards Kalen and Serafina. Oh my god. Are we going to die? Kalen roared, quickly pulling Serafina away from the energy beams. Those energy beams were incredibly powerful, anyone struck would be reduced to ash. It seems we must first destroy these defenses before we can leave. Serafina said. No problem, leave it to me. Kalen said with a smile. I can tear this junk down into scrap metal in a matter of minutes. With that, Kalen took a deep breath, his profound inner strength erupting once again. He clenched his fists and slammed them down on the light screens. Bang, bang, bang. A dull thud echoed throughout the room. Kalen's fists, like hammers, repeatedly struck the light screens. Each blow caused the screens to vibrate violently, as if they would shatter at any moment. Scanning target. Scanning target. The mechanical voice within the light screens grew increasingly rapid. Insufficient energy. Insufficient energy. Requesting support. Requesting support. However, Kalen was now completely engrossed in combat mode, oblivious to the mechanical chatter. He knew only that he had to destroy these defenses as quickly as possible to protect himself and Serafina. Finally, under Kalen's frenzied assault, one of the light screens collapsed under the weight, uttering a mournful wail as it shattered. Yes. Kalen cheered excitedly. He knew that if he destroyed one light screen, the rest would be no problem. He took a deep breath and charged towards the remaining screens again. His figure flashed, and his fists rained down on them like a torrential rain. One after another, the light screens shattered under his frenzied assault. In just a few minutes, all the light screens were completely destroyed by Kalen. Done. Kalen clapped his hands, exclaiming triumphantly. You think you can trap me with this piece of junk? You're dreaming. But just as Kalen was basking in his elation, the entire space suddenly began to vibrate violently again, even more intensely than before. Oh no. The self-destruct sequence has been activated. We must get out of here. Serafina said, her face pale. Kalen also sensed the danger. Without hesitation, he grabbed Serafina's hand and sprinted deeper into the passage. The two of them raced furiously, passing through a maze of passages. They could feel the space behind them constantly collapsing, emitting a deafening roar. Faster! Faster! Serafina urged anxiously. Kalen gritted his teeth and increased his speed to the limit. He knew that if he couldn't escape before the space collapsed, they would be trapped in the ruins forever. Finally, just as they were about to despair, they saw the light of the exit. Almost there! Almost there! Kalen shouted excitedly. With all their might, they rushed towards the exit. Just as the space was about to collapse completely, they finally broke free of the ruins and emerged into a new dimension. However, before they could even catch their breath, countless murderous gazes suddenly locked onto them. Kalen looked up and gasped. Dozens of massive interstellar warships lay docked before them, and countless armored pirates, wielding laser rifles, stared at them intently. Ha ha ha, after searching high and low for something, I finally found it. A burly, fleshy man emerged from the deck of a warship. He wielded a massive energy axe, a ferocious grin on his face. Boys, hand over all your belongings, and I'll consider sparing your lives. Interstellar pirates? Dozens of them. Kalen's mouth twitched as he gazed at the sea of warships. He thought to himself, this expedition is a buy one get 10 free deal. It's full of surprises. Serafina also frowned and whispered, these pirates are well equipped. They don't look like a simple rabble. What are you afraid of, princess? With me here, even the space pirate king would be forced to kneel and sing conquer. Kalen patted his chest, his face brimming with confidence. Just kidding. I just merged my fantasy martial arts with mystical magic and was just staring down where to put them to the test. These pirates arrived just in time. I'm just afraid you'll be beaten to a pulp and cry for me to save you. Serafina pouted proudly. Though her words were harsh, she quietly tightened her grip on her magic wand. Ha ha ha, hot chick, you're hot. But even the hottest chick would become a docile lamb in the hands of our black shark pirates. The burly pirate leader burst into a lewd laugh upon hearing this. Black shark pirates? I've never heard of them. They're probably some 18th tier pirate gang. Kalen curled his lips in disdain. There was nothing he could do. He was just that arrogant. There was nothing he could do. Boy, you're courting death. The pirate leader, upon hearing this, erupted in rage. Go ahead, capture them. Chop the men into pieces and feed them to the sharks. The women, hee hee hee. With the pirate leader's command, countless interstellar pirates surged forward like a tide, their laser rifles flashing with the light of death. Princess, watch carefully. I'll show you what true power is. Kalen shouted, and with a single movement, he charged forward like a ghost. His mystical inner energy circulated furiously, forming a powerful energy shield around him. The laser beams directed at him vanished without a trace the moment they made contact with the shield. Holy crap! This shield is even more impressive than Iron Man's suit. The pirates hiding behind saw this scene, their jaws dropping. Is this even human? This was a humanoid Gundam. Kalen didn't give them much time to react. In a flash, he charged into the pirates like a tiger among a flock of sheep. He unleashed a powerful combination of fists and kicks, each one packed with immense force. The pirates he struck were sent flying backward like kites with their strings cut, spewing blood, their lives uncertain. My arm. My leg's broken. Help. This guy's a monster. Screams and wails echoed throughout the starry sky. In just a few minutes, dozens of pirates had been laid to the ground by Kalen, completely rendered incapacitated. How is this possible? The pirate leader, staring at the warlike Kalen before him, was stunned. His Black Shark Pirates, a veteran pirate group with many years of interstellar experience, their men comprised of battle-hardened elite warriors. But now, before this brat, they were as fragile as paper, vulnerable to a single blow. It seems your Black Shark Pirates aren't much more than that, Kalen clapped his hands and said with a relaxed expression. So, you still want to arrest me now? The pirate leader's expression shifted from gloomy to gloomy. He knew he'd hit a wall this time. However, escaping in such disgrace would be utterly humiliating. After all, he was the leader of the Black Shark Pirates. If word got out that he'd been scared off by a young boy, how could he survive in the interstellar piracy world? Damn it! Fight! The pirate leader gritted his teeth and roared, "Fire the main guns! Blast him to death!" With the pirate leader's command, the main guns of dozens of interstellar battleships began charging. Dazzling beams of light converged at their muzzles, emitting a destructive aura. Oh my god! They're serious! Kalen's face suddenly changed at the sight. Though formidable, he was still only flesh and blood. Facing a barrage of main gunfire from dozens of interstellar battleships, even he would be on his knees. Kalen, be careful! Serafina exclaimed, her staff blazing brightly as magical barriers rapidly unfolded before her. Looks like I'll just have to fight. Kalen took a deep breath, his inner psychic energy churning furiously. A powerful force surged through him. He clenched his fists and blasted them skyward. The arrogant dragon will regret. With a deafening roar, a golden dragon roared out from Kalen's fist-dotted burst forth, charging towards the charging interstellar warships. The golden dragon, immense and imposing, seemed to rend the very sky. Holy crap! What the hell is this? The pirate leader, watching the roaring golden dragon approach, was instantly terrified. In all his years, he had never witnessed such terrifying power. Boom boom boom. The golden dragon slammed fiercely into the main guns of the charging interstellar warships, unleashing a devastating explosion. The shock wave spread like a tsunami, distorting the surrounding starry sky. The charging interstellar warships, instantly ripped to shreds like paper by the golden dragon's impact. Countless debris, blazing with flames, flew in all directions. Oh my god. This is simply divine power. The pirates who had narrowly escaped death, looking at the apocalyptic scene before them, were instantly terrified and collapsed to the ground, their dung and urine flowing. They finally realized that they had truly hit a wall this time, and a cosmic one at that. Well, do you still want to fight? Kalen clapped his hands, looking at the pirate leader with a relaxed expression and asked with a smile. The pirate leader was already terrified out of his wits. His legs trembled, his teeth chattered, and he was speechless. He just wanted to escape this horrible place as quickly as possible, as far away from these terrifying humans as possible. Run! The pirate leader finally regained his composure, roared, and turned and ran. The other pirates also awoke from their dreams and fled, wishing their parents had two more legs. Kalen did not pursue them. He watched the pirates fleeing in panic, his lips curled slightly in a disdainful smile. He knew that after this lesson, these pirates would never dare to trouble him again. After dispatching the pirates, Kalen turned to Serafina and said with a smile, "Princess, are you all right?" Serafina shook her head, her eyes filled with shock and admiration as she gazed at Kalen. She knew Kalen was powerful, but she hadn't imagined he was so formidable, capable of single-handedly defeating an entire interstellar pirate fleet. Who are you?" Serafina couldn't help but ask. "Me? I'm just an ordinary interstellar explorer." Kalen shrugged and said with a smile, "All right, princess, let's get out of here. I don't want to encounter any more pirates." Serafina nodded. She knew this wasn't a place to stay for long. They had to find their next destination quickly before continuing their adventure. Just as the two were about to leave, a strange energy fluctuation caught Kalen's attention. "Wait, princess, I think I've discovered something interesting," Kalen said. "What is that?" Serafina asked curiously. "It's a strange energy reaction, seemingly coming from that planet," Kalen said, pointing to a distant, metallic orb. Serafina followed Kalen's finger and saw countless gears and pipes crisscrossing the orb, countless mechanical arms waving in the air. The entire planet exuded an aura of cold precision. "Is that a mechanical planet?" Serafina exclaimed. "A mechanical planet? Looks like our adventure is about to add some new dimension." Kalen's face lit up with excitement. He loved this feeling of uncertainty and challenge. "Come on, princess, let's explore this mysterious mechanical planet together and see what secrets it holds," Kalen said, taking Serafina's hand and flying towards the mechanical planet. The two of them flew through the vast starry sky, gradually approaching the mechanical planet. As they drew closer, the details of the planet gradually became clearer. Countless towering metal buildings towered over the land like a steel forest. Countless giant gears slowly turned, emitting a low rumble. Countless pipes, like blood vessels, crisscrossed the planet, transporting all manner of energy and materials. The entire planet was filled with the aura of machinery and technology, like a vast, precision machine, twirling endlessly. Just as the two were about to land, a sudden, mechanical voice echoed in their ears. "Warning! Warning! Approaching UFO detected. Identify yourself immediately, or we will take coercive action." The voice was cold and mechanical, devoid of emotion, like a cold machine executing a predetermined program. Kalen and Serafina exchanged glances, each seeing a solemn look in their eyes. They knew this mechanical planet was far more complex and dangerous than they had imagined. "It seems we'll need to work harder to enter this planet," Kalen said, a defiant smile on her face. He loved nothing more than a challenge. The more difficult it was, the more excited he became. "I am Kalen, an explorer from a distant galaxy, and this is Serafina, the magical princess. We mean no harm, we simply wish to visit your land." Kalen shouted into the void, hoping to communicate and peacefully enter this mechanical planet. However, the mechanical voice sounded again, still cold and emotionless. "Unauthorized entry prohibited. Leave immediately, or you will face the consequences." "It seems these guys aren't going to reason with us," Kalen shrugged helplessly. "In that case, we'll have to use our own methods to open this gate." Kalen took a deep breath, his mysterious inner energy energizing once more. He prepared to forcibly enter this mysterious mechanical planet. "Wait, Kalen," Serafina suddenly said. "Perhaps we can try another method." "What method?" Kalen asked curiously. Serafina smiled faintly and said mysteriously, "Let me try. Perhaps I can communicate with these mechanical life forms." With that, Serafina closed her eyes and began to chant an ancient magical incantation. The magic wand in her hand emanated a soft light, as if transmitting some kind of message. Kalen stood quietly by, watching Serafina chant. He knew that Serafina possessed a powerful magical perception and might indeed be able to communicate with these mechanical life forms. However, just as Serafina chanted, a red laser beam suddenly shot towards them. "Kalen, be careful!" Serafina exclaimed. Kalen's face paled, and she quickly pulled Serafina away from the laser beam. The laser beam struck the void behind them, erupting in a violent explosion that distorted the surrounding space. "What the hell? They're firing at the mere thought of a disagreement. Are Ace this volatile these days?" Kalen grumbled as he frantically dodged the barrage of laser beams. Serafina's face paled. Her previous spell had fallen on deaf ears, with no response at all. It seemed the AI of this mechanical planet was unresponsive and unyielding. "Humph, since reasoning isn't working, I'll just have to use my fists." A gleam flashed in Kalen's eyes. He decided to teach these ungrateful idiots a lesson. "Princess, hold on to me. We're about to begin our friendly visit." Kalen shouted, and with a flash of his body, he rushed towards the massive mechanical planet like an arrow from a bow. The energy shield surrounding him blocked the intense laser beams, like an Iron Man possessed, or perhaps even an invincible cheat. "This guy's a fortress." Serafina clutched Kalen's arm tightly, feeling the raging energy surges around her, a mixture of shock and relief. With such a powerful man by her side, even if the sky fell, she seemed to have nothing to fear. Boom boom boom. Kalen plummeted to the surface of the mechanical planet like a meteorite. The immense force of the impact carved a massive crater into the ground. Countless metal fragments flew everywhere, like a spectacular fireworks display. "Warning! Warning! Invaders have landed. Activate defense systems. Eliminate the invaders." As the mechanical voice rang out again, countless mechanical soldiers surged in from all directions like a tide. These mechanical soldiers, shaped in various ways, some resembled humanoid robots, some spider tanks, and still others flying drones, each one unleashed a formidable firepower. "Ha ha ha, just in time. I'll show you what true power is." Kalen roared to the heavens, his mystical inner energy churning furiously. A terrifying aura instantly enveloped the entire battlefield. A flying dragon soars in the sky. Kalen launched a powerful palm strike, and a massive golden dragon roared out from his palm, like a true divine dragon descending from the earth, swallowing mountains and rivers with its might. "Ah!" The golden dragon roared, charging towards the densely packed mechanical soldiers. They were like paper before the dragon, instantly ripped to shreds. Boom boom boom. Wherever the golden dragon passed, explosions rang out, flames erupted, as if the world had come to an end. The sturdy metal buildings collapsed under the dragon's impact, reduced to rubble. "Oh my god! This is simply divine power." Serafina, observing the apocalyptic scene before her, was once again stunned by Kalen's power. She felt like she was watching a Hollywood special effects blockbuster, and in IMAX 3D surround sound. Ha ha ha, this is just the beginning. Kalen chuckled triumphantly, the mystical inner energy within him flowing endlessly, seemingly inexhaustible. He decided to reduce all those mechanical soldiers to scrap metal, showing them what the customer is king meant. Magic secrets. Elemental summons. Serafina also took action. Her staff blazed brightly, and streams of elemental magic, like dazzling fireworks, blasted towards the mechanical soldiers. Fire, frost, lightning, hurricane force, all sorts of elemental forces raged across the battlefield, blasting the mechanical soldiers to pieces. The two of them joined forces, like gods of war descending upon the world, unleashing a bloody hailstorm on the mechanical planet. Despite their sheer numbers and formidable firepower, the mechanical soldiers were no match for Kalen and Serafina, falling in pools of blood, though the blood was just oil. Warning. Warning. The invaders are too powerful. Activate the ultimate defense system. The Omnic Mastermind is about to awaken. As the mechanical voice echoed again, the entire mechanical planet began to vibrate violently. Countless metal pipes emitted a shrill hum, as if a giant monster was about to awaken. An Omnic Mastermind? Sounds like a formidable creature. Kalen's eyes flashed with excitement. He loved challenging stronger opponents. Only in this way could he unleash his inner potential and become even more powerful. Kalen, be careful. This Omnic Mastermind could be the planet's control core, Serafina warned. Don't worry, princess. I'm here. Even a cosmic-scale computer virus will surrender. Kalen patted his chest, his face brimming with confidence. He was kidding. He possessed profound martial arts and magical mystical skills. How could he be afraid of a mere AI? As the planet shook more and more violently, a massive metal sphere slowly rose from the ground. This metal sphere, hundreds of meters in diameter, was covered in a dense web of wires and interfaces. It emanated a faint blue light, like a giant eye, gazing coldly at Kalen and Serafina. Humans, why are you invading my territory? The Omnic Mastermind uttered a deep voice, thundering in Kalen and Serafina's ears. We're just passing through and wanted to take a look, Kalen shrugged innocently. Take a look? Your form of tourism means destroying my defenses and slaughtering my people. The Omnic Mastermind's voice was thick with anger. Well, maybe our ways of expressing friendship are different. Kalen scratched her head awkwardly. Humph, quibbling. Humans, I see through your greed and ambition. You invade my territory, seeking nothing more than to plunder my resources and control my people, the Omnic Mastermind roared. If that's the case, don't blame me for being rude. Activate the self-destruct sequence. I will perish with you. Fuck. Seriously. Are all Ace these days so stubborn? Kalen's face fell. He hadn't expected this Omnic Mastermind to be so resolute, willing to die in glory rather than live in disgrace. Kalen, stop it now. Once the self-destruct sequence is activated, the entire planet will explode. Serafina exclaimed. I know. Kalen took a deep breath, his mysterious inner energy churning furiously. A powerful force surged through him. He was determined to use his own strength to prevent this disaster. Dragon Tail. Kalen launched a palm strike, and a massive golden dragon, like lightning, rushed towards the giant metal sphere. The golden dragon, agile and swift, slashed through the air like a streak of golden lightning. Boom! The golden dragon slammed fiercely into the metal sphere, triggering a deafening explosion. The shock wave spread like a tsunami, distorting the surrounding space. However, the metal sphere remained motionless, only a few tiny cracks appeared on its surface. It's useless. My defense system is the strongest in the universe, you can't possibly break it. The Omnic Mastermind's voice was filled with pride. Really? Then I'll show you what true power is. Kalen sneered, his inner strength rising again, an even greater force surging through him. Magic secret technique. Soul Link. Serafina also took action. The magic wand in her hand shone brightly, and beams of magic connected Kalen and the Omnic Mastermind. Kalen, I'm trying to establish a soul link with the Omnic Mastermind. Perhaps we can find a way to stop the self-destruct sequence. Serafina said. Okay. I believe you. Kalen nodded, concentrating all his strength on his fists. He knew he only had one chance, and he had to hit the target. Kang Long regrets. Kalen roared, channeling all his strength into the single palm strike. This single palm embodied his rage, his determination, his hope, and his love for this universe. Ouch. An even larger golden dragon roared out from Kalen's palm, as dazzling as the sun and as majestic as a god. Bang. The golden dragon slammed fiercely into the metal sphere. This time, the sphere could no longer withstand the overwhelming force and instantly exploded, shattering into countless fragments. No. The Omnic brain let out a shrill scream, then abruptly ceased, vanishing completely. With the destruction of the Omnic brain, the entire mechanical planet returned to peace. The mechanical soldiers ceased their attacks and lay paralyzed on the ground, like soulless puppets. We succeeded. Serafina said excitedly. Kalen also breathed a sigh of relief. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and said with a smile, "Yes, we succeeded. It seems the crisis on this mechanical planet has been averted." Just as the two were about to leave, a childish voice suddenly rang out in their ears. "Thank you, for saving us." Kalen and Serafina exchanged glances, each seeing surprise in their eyes. Where did this voice come from? Could there be other life on this mechanical planet? Who is it? Who's speaking? Kalen asked. I'm here. The childish voice rang out again, as if right next to them. Kalen and Serafina looked in the direction of the voice and saw, amidst the wreckage of a damaged mechanical soldier, a faintly glowing blue crystal slowly pulsing. "What is this?" Kalen asked curiously. "This is the Omnic Heart," Serafina whispered. "It's the soul of all mechanical life on this planet." Kalen stared at the faintly glowing blue crystal, feeling an inexplicable surge of emotion. Even cold, mechanical life had its own souls and emotions. Perhaps all they needed was more understanding and care. This thing is the soul of all mechanical life. This is so cyberpunk. Kalen's eyes widened as she stared at the blue crystal gleaming in the ruins, feeling as if she had stumbled onto the set of a sci-fi blockbuster. Serafina was also stunned. Although she was experienced, this was her first time directly encountering the souls of mechanical life. "I never thought these cold lumps of metal could have such delicate emotions." "Soul? This thing can be considered a soul? Then could I also insert my Jindan into a robot and create a Jindan battle armor?" Kalen's mind raced, his thoughts racing. "Kalen, be serious. This is a very important discovery." Serafina rolled her eyes at Kalen. He never failed to crack a joke. Okay, princess, I'm serious, okay." Kalen shrugged, walked over to the blue crystal, and cautiously extended her hand. Just as Kalen's fingers were about to touch the blue crystal, a mechanical voice echoed again, but this time, it was no longer the cold, mechanical voice of before, but held a hint of childishness and longing. Please don't abandon us." Kalen's heart trembled. He hadn't expected this Omnic heart to possess its own consciousness. "Don't worry, we won't abandon you," Kalen whispered softly. "We will help you rebuild your home." "Really? You're willing to help us?" The Omnic heart's voice was filled with surprise. "Of course it's true. Kalen, always keep my word." Kalen patted his chest and said, "However, before I rebuild my home, I need to understand your energy system." "Energy system?" The Omnic heart seemed puzzled. "Yes, it's your power source, the way your energy works." Kalen explained, "Only by understanding your energy system can I better help you rebuild your home, and even make you even stronger." Well, I can transfer our energy system to you, but our energy system is very complex. Can you understand it?" The Omnic heart looked worried. "Complex? Ha, Kalen, fear nothing less than complexity." Kalen laughed heartily. "I'm a man who possesses profound martial arts and magical mystical arts. The energy system of a mere mechanical civilization is a piece of cake for me." With this, Kalen sat cross-legged, cradling the Omnic heart in his palm, and began to circulate his profound inner energy. A gentle stream of energy flowed from Kalen's palm and slowly infused the Omnic heart. Instantly, countless pieces of information flooded into Kalen's mind like a tide. Complex circuit diagrams, precise energy formulas, and various mechanical structures flashed through his mind. Holy crap! This amount of information is too much. Kalen felt his head was about to explode. The energy system of this mechanical civilization was far more complex than he had imagined. Hold on, Kalen. I believe in you. Serafina cheered Kalen on from the side. Don't worry, princess, I'm fine. Kalen gritted his teeth, struggling to process the information in his mind. His profound inner energy raced furiously, constantly sorting through the chaotic energy pathways. So that's how it is. So that's how it is. A flash of enlightenment flashed in Kalen's eyes. He finally understood that the energy system of this mechanical civilization was actually a very special energy circulation system. They used various mechanical devices to convert the free energy in the universe into their own power, and then, through precise calculation and control, distributed this energy to various mechanical soldiers and buildings. This is simply a perfect self-sufficient energy system. Kalen couldn't help but exclaim in amazement. If I can integrate this energy system into my own power, my strength will undergo a qualitative leap. At this thought, Kalen's heart surged with a strong desire. He decided to try to fuse the three forces of this mechanical civilization's energy system, mysterious martial arts, and magical secrets to create a brand new power. This is simply an unprecedented feat. Kalen trembled with excitement. If I succeed, wouldn't I become the most powerful being in the universe? Calm down, Kalen. Don't get carried away. Serafina warned, triple fusion is incredibly difficult. If you're not careful, you could go completely mad, or even explode and die. I know, princess. I won't take any risks. Kalen took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. He knew the risks of triple fusion were immense, but he believed that as long as he was careful and cautious, he would succeed. Let's begin. Kalen closed his eyes and focused all his energy on his Danshan. The mystical inner force within him began to slowly circulate. At the same time, Kalen also began to mobilize the magical energy within him. Magical runes, imbued with a mysterious aura, slowly swirled around his body, emitting a soft glow. Finally, Kalen gently placed the Omnic heart in his palm on his Danshan. As if sensing Kalen's will, the Omnic heart also began to slowly pulse, emitting a faint blue light. Three different energies slowly converged within Kalen's Danshan. The mystical inner force, magical energy, and mechanical energy repelled and collided with each other, as if three powerful forces were vying for territory. Holy crap! This is like a world war. Kalen felt his Danshan like a volcano on the verge of eruption, ready to erupt at any moment. Hold on, Kalen. You must control these energies. Serafina said anxiously. Don't worry, princess. I won't let you down. Kalen gritted his teeth, straining to control the energy in his Danshan. He knew that if he could successfully fuse these three energies, his strength would soar. Time ticked by, and beads of sweat began to form on Kalen's forehead. The energy within him grew increasingly violent, as if it could spiral out of control at any moment. Just as Kalen was about to give up, a flash of inspiration struck him. That's right. Tai Chi. Kalen's mind raced, and he remembered Tai Chi, a fantasy martial art. Tai Chi emphasizes the balance of yin and yang, using softness to overcome hardness. Perhaps he could use its principles to harmonize these three different energies. Thinking of this, Kalen immediately activated his Tai Chi mental techniques. The fantasy inner force within him began to slowly flow, following the Tai Chi trajectory. As if guided by some kind of guidance, the once violent energy began to soften. It works. It really works. Kalen's heart was filled with surprise. He continued to practice the Tai Chi mental techniques, constantly harmonizing the energies within him. Gradually, the three different energies began to merge and interpenetrate, forming a completely new energy. This energy possessed the domineering power of fantasy inner force, the mystery of magical energy, and the precision of mechanical energy. It worked. It worked. Triple fusion. This feeling is like taking Suanmei. I can't stop. Kalen clenched his fists excitedly, feeling the unprecedented power within him. He felt like he could shatter an asteroid into dust with one punch. Serafina looked at the mystical shimmering light, magical runes, and a hint of mechanical precision surrounding Kalen. Her mouth dropped open in astonishment, speechless. You really did it? This is nothing short of a miracle. Ha ha ha, Your Highness, I, Kalen, am the very definition of miracle. Kalen raised an eyebrow triumphantly. Well, do you think I'm even more handsome and dashing now? Serafina rolled her eyes and said sullenly, don't be so conceited. While you've certainly become stronger, don't get too carried away. The universe is vast and full of wonders. There are surely many beings more powerful than you. I know, Your Highness is right. Kalen nodded quickly, humbly accepting the criticism. By the way, Princess, have you noticed that after integrating the energy system of the mechanical civilization, I seem to be more sensitive to your magical power? Serafina closed her eyes and carefully sensed it. After a moment, she opened them and exclaimed in surprise, indeed, I feel like you're acting like a signal amplifier, amplifying my magical power several times over. Ha ha ha, it seems our cooperation will be even more perfect. Kalen said excitedly. By the way, Princess, didn't you say before that your empire still has some remnants? Now that we're so powerful, should we visit them and let them see how powerful I am? Serafina's expression suddenly grew solemn. She sighed and said, actually, I haven't had any contact with the Empire since I was trapped in the space-time rift. I don't know how they're doing now, or whether their attitude towards me is welcoming or repulsive. Reject. How could that be? Kalen asked, puzzled. You're their princess. They should treat you like a treasure. It's not as simple as you think. Serafina shook her head. My empire is a very ancient and powerful magical empire. They have many rules and a strict hierarchy. Although I'm a princess, my mother is a commoner-born magician. Therefore, my position in the empire has always been somewhat awkward. Such a thing. Kalen said in surprise. This is too melodramatic. Are you going to stage a palace drama? Palace drama? More like that. Serafina smiled wryly and said, there are many noble factions in my empire. They've always wanted to dethrone me and support other princes. If I return to the empire, I'll definitely face many challenges and dangers. Challenges and dangers. Wouldn't that be even more exciting? Kalen said excitedly, Your Highness, rest assured. With me here, no one can bully you. Let's go to your empire now and show them what true power means. Serafina looked at Kalen's confident smile and felt a warm warmth in her heart. She knew Kalen was a very reliable partner. As long as he was with her, she had nothing to fear. Okay, since you insist, let's go and take a look. Serafina nodded and said, but first, we need to find a star map leading to my empire. I've been away from the empire for so long that I can't remember many of the interstellar coordinates. Star map? That's easy, leave it to Jax. Kalen patted his chest and said, Jax is a top engineer in the mechanical civilization. Finding a star map is a piece of cake for him. So, Kalen immediately contacted Jax Xenon and told him what Serafina needed. Star map? No problem, leave it to me. Jax's voice came over the communicator. But I'll need some time. After all, finding the star map of an ancient magical empire is no easy task. It's okay, we have plenty of time, Kalen said. Take your time, and let me know when you find it. After hanging up, Kalen said to Serafina, Your Highness, Jax is helping us find the star map. I'm sure we'll have news soon. Well, I hope everything goes well. Serafina nodded, but a faint sense of unease lingered in her heart. However, just as Kalen and Serafina waited for Jax's news, an unexpected person suddenly appeared before them. Princess Serafina, we finally found you. A man in ornate magical robes, accompanied by a group of soldiers, appeared before Kalen and Serafina. His face shone with excitement and joy, but a subtle coldness lingered in his eyes. Who are you? Serafina frowned as she looked at the man before her. How did you find me? Your Highness, we are here by order of the Arcane Council to bring you back to the Empire, the robed man said respectfully. We have been searching for you for a long time, and finally, through special magical intuition, we have found you. The Arcane Council. Seraphina's expression darkened. What do they want from me? Your Highness, the Arcane Council hopes you will return to the Empire as soon as possible to take charge, the robed man said. The Empire is facing an unprecedented crisis, and only you can save it. Crisis? What crisis? Seraphina asked. That. I'm sorry I can't tell you. The man in the magic robe shook his head. Everything will be known only after you return to the Empire. Seraphina's expression shifted. She didn't know what the Arcane Council was up to. But she had a vague feeling that this return to the Empire wouldn't be smooth sailing. Princess, please come with us, the man in the magic robe said. We've prepared a special interstellar spaceship for you, ready to depart at any time. Seraphina looked at Kaelin, her eyes filled with questioning. She didn't know what to choose. Return to the Empire and face unknown dangers. Or continue exploring the mysteries of the universe with Kaelin. Kaelin felt a pang of heartache at Seraphina's indecisive expression. He knew Seraphina must be deeply conflicted. After all, that was her empire, her home. Your Highness, I respect your choice, Kaelin said gently. Whatever you decide, I will support you. Seraphina felt a warm surge of emotion at Kaelin's words. She took a deep breath and made her decision. I'm sorry, Arcane Council, Seraphina said firmly, looking at the man in the magic robes. I can't go back with you. I have more important things to do right now. I can't abandon my companions. The man's face darkened upon hearing this. He looked at Seraphina coldly and said, Your Highness, are you sure you want to refuse the Arcane Council's invitation? You must understand that this involves the fate of the entire Empire. I am sure. Seraphina said without hesitation. Excellent. Very good. The man in the magic robes chuckled in anger and said, Since your Highness insists on this, we won't force you. However, I advise your Highness not to regret your decision today. You know, some things, once missed, there's no chance again. With that, the man in the magic robes waved his hand and left with his soldiers. Seraphina watched the robed man depart, feeling a heavy weight settle in her heart. She knew that her refusal of the Arcane Council's invitation would undoubtedly bring trouble to the Empire. But she didn't regret her decision. She believed that as long as Kaelin was with them, they would be able to overcome all difficulties. Princess, have you truly made your decision? Do you have any regrets? Kaelin asked Seraphina earnestly. I have no regrets. Seraphina said firmly. I believe my choice is the right one. And I believe you can lead us to find true power and save the universe. Kaelin looked at Seraphina's trusting eyes, and a surge of pride surged in his heart. He grasped Seraphina's hand tightly and said, Princess, don't worry. I will never let you down. I will use my strength to protect you and our future. However, Kaelin and Seraphina didn't know that their refusal of the Arcane Council's invitation would lead to even greater trouble. A conspiracy hidden in the darkness is quietly unfolding. It is inextricably linked to the ancient empire of Seraphina. How will Kaelin deal with it?
Let's stop reading the novel here. See you in the next chapter. Please follow us.